The chair now recognizes Mr. Loris for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Gosar, Ranking Member Stansberry, and distinguished members of the subcommittee. Thank you for this opportunity to testify this morning. My name is Nick Loris, and I'm the Vice President of Public Policy for C3 Solutions, which stands for the Conservative Coalition for Climate Solutions. With my time, I'd like to make 3 brief points. First, the importance of critical minerals for the economy and the requirements necessary to meet clean energy demands. Second, the adverse environmental and social impacts from mining and processing critical minerals in certain places abroad. And third, exploring opportunities to capitalize on domestic mineral abundance, to diversify the market, and to reduce dependence on foreign adversaries. First, non-fuel critical minerals are essential for our quality of life, technological progress, national security, and environmental ambitions. Critical minerals are the foundation that empowers companies to build, manufacture, and innovate, and they are the foundation for the products that keep Americans and people around the world safe, healthy, and happy. Critical minerals are also necessary for renewable and clean energy technologies. Most low carbon and zero emissions technologies require a moderate or high amount of at least 2 critical minerals, and several sources, including wind, batteries, and hydrogen, have moderate to high needs for 4 or more critical minerals. Significant increases in critical mineral supplies will be necessary to address climate change. To meet the International Energy Agency's global net zero targets by 2050, the agency estimates the world will need 43 million metric tons of critical minerals, a 6-fold increase from 2020 levels. Granted, we need to take those estimates with a large grain of humility, but even under much less ambitious scenarios, it is almost certain that future critical mineral needs will be substantial. And to be clear, the massive critical mineral requirements are not by itself a reason to be pessimistic about the future of clean energy. Instead, policymakers must recognize the importance of these minerals, the realities of future demand, and the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Secondly, addressing the human rights abuses of critical mineral development and processing in certain countries will be essential for having socially just growth in clean energy, in electric vehicles, and for the continued use of modern technologies. The Democratic Republic of the Congo supplies nearly 75% of the world's cobalt, and the mining practices are appalling to say the least. Having visited and researched the practices, Harvard fellow Siddharth Kara has extensively documented the horrors and abuses of artisanal mining in the DRC, where tens of thousands of child laborers are digging the cobalt out by hand while breathing in toxic fumes and dust. Chinese ownership of most of these mines and Chinese dominance of cobalt refining exacerbate the supply chain concerns. And speaking of China, the human rights exploitations of the Uyghur Muslim minorities and other Muslim minorities in the Xinjiang region of China has also been well documented and is extremely concerning. A recent Breakthrough Institute report estimates that 42% of the global solar-grade polysilicon production capacity was in that region in the year 2021. In addition to the egregious human rights tragedies, there are also economic and environmental concerns of over-reliance on China for minerals and processing. Poor environmental standards and weak enforcement in China have resulted in contaminated groundwater and soil and dangerous levels of air pollution. Encouragingly, the rare earth market is diversifying worldwide to some extent, which will reduce the dependence on China and promote more environmentally friendly ways to mine and process rare earths, which brings me to my third point. Congress must continue to work with the private sector to open opportunities to capitalize on resource abundance, diversify supply chains, promote ethical mineral sourcing, and develop market alternatives. For instance, modernizing permitting processes should put America on par with countries like Canada and Australia that unlock mineral deposits while maintaining rigorous environmental safeguards. The more the US and other developed countries extract their resources, the fewer minerals we will need to import from countries that have lax environmental standards and use morally unconscionable labor practices. At a bare minimum, agencies should conduct an environmental review rather than place a mining area off limits before any such review is even conducted. Further, Congress should continue to support research and development for critical minerals recycling, mining, and processing innovations. Collaboration among government labs, research universities, and the private sector could help unlock breakthrough technologies, improve efficiencies, and generate market-viable alternatives. With any subsidies, Congress should also maintain policy neutrality. To the extent that the government provides any subsidies, technology neutrality will generate more efficient outcomes. In conclusion, rising prices for mineral commodities could slow the deployment of clean energy technologies moving forward. Alternatively, rising prices could be an opportunity and should be the signal for markets to act, to increase supplies, to develop substitutes, to secure supply chains, diversify away from unethically sourced minerals, and reduce dependence on foreign adversaries where environmental standards are poor. Congress can act by removing the barriers that prevent the private sector from providing clean, reliable energy choices at lower prices. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Loris.